Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your host that does the most, Spiritual Intellectual 777, here once again, coming at you guys from the house of greatness. And today, what I want to talk about today is love the process. All right, let's get into it. So basically what inspired this topic here is just, me, or what I went through along my journey towards awakening and towards, manifesting my dreams, like day by day by day by day by day. And so I'm gonna get into the spiritual part of it, of course. And in reality, everything is enmeshed with the spiritual path. But just put emphasis on it, I want to say by saying between the years 2014 to 2016, I was just like feeling really angry and resentful, and I felt this nagging sense of loneliness because when you find out all of these years you've just been lied to, and you find out how much you've been programmed to believe that you're less than capable of reaching success and manifesting your dreams, and you find out you just have all these blocks to overcome, it can make a person feel very resentful and overwhelmed and just angry at the world. I was angry at myself, I was angry at the world, I was angry at my family, I was pretty much angry at every damn body. You know what I mean? And if you've been following my Instagram page for some time, and even recognize some of my posts on Facebook between those years, you could like really feel the intense anger behind those posts. And deep down, it was because, I was hurting badly on the inside, and I was going through a heavy sense of purging around that time. If you've seen some of my work from creative writing and, even some of the posts where I was just flat out just being a savage, I was just, man. When I think back to those times, I'm like, damn, I was going through, my first huge transition between those years, and they were really intense. And, I did have some moments of joy, don't get me wrong, but most of the time I just felt like really angry, really resentful, and I didn't want to be bothered with nobody. I was just, I'm telling you, I was, I mean, if you don't believe me, you can go like scroll deep into my Instagram page, but only if you want to, because like I have over like 3,000 posts on my Instagram. And by the way, my Instagram name is @spiritual_intellect, all lowercase letters. But yeah, I was just, those years, man, I was at my peak of savagery. Excuse me for a minute. But yeah, I was just like, I was like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I'm going to speak what's on my mind. I'm going to be ultra blunt. I'm going to express exactly how I feel, regardless if it makes people uncomfortable or not. Because around that time, I was just thinking, I have nothing to lose at this point. I've already, lost a whole lot of friends, and I've already been into bouts with many of my family members. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to just say exactly what's on my mind. And, it did rub a lot of my family members the wrong way. But, of course, I didn't give a shit. I was like, it's on my mind, and it's like how I'm feeling right now. So I'm going to be my true, authentic self. See what I mean? And yeah, the spiritual path can really feel lonely, especially, at the beginning, like when you really start to awaken. Like, you're gonna notice the relationships that you have with your family members won't be the same anymore. You're gonna feel out of place when you go to family gatherings and whatnot, and you feel less than enthusiastic about being with your family. And also, like, some of the homies or homegirls you used to kick it with after school, right? even those relationships start falling off and you find yourself getting into these feuds with them. And you know that those relationships deep down aren't healthy for you anymore, but you stay in those relationships out of this sense of obligation. You know what I mean? Because you've known these people all these years and you don't want to disappoint them by all of a sudden just like cutting the relationship off cold turkey, because you've been rocking with them and they have been there for you to some extent. But now that you're at this higher level of consciousness, you two are just not vibrationally compatible anymore. Does it mean that the relationship is pretty much dead at this point? Yet we keep it going out of this fearfulness and out of this sense of obligation and this gnawing feeling of loneliness, because we are by default social creatures. And me as an extrovert myself, I can attest to that, to having those huge feelings of loneliness. Like, fuck man, nobody gets what I'm going through. I don't see any high vibing people talking to me. Man, my family members demonize me. My so-called friends ain't even cool with me anymore. And I just felt this, and that's part of the reason why I felt really resentful and just not being as joyous as I once was. I'm not saying this to say that the spiritual path is all doom and gloom and it's lonely and it's, just dark and grimy. But, on the contrary, the spiritual path is really, really beautiful, because in the long run, you're freer than you've ever been. You're healthy, you're high vibing, and you're happy. But at the beginning, it does not feel that way. And you're sitting there with yourself thinking like, what the hell? Like, I've seen all these posts on social media. I've seen all these videos on YouTube where people talked about how joyous the spiritual path was, and how when you're at a high vibration, you start manifesting at light speed, and, you're surrounded by all of your soul family. But what they don't tell you is, the shit that they had to go through in order to reach to that point. They had to do a lot of intense purging and a lot of releasing old relationship templates and relationships, period, that were no longer serving them, and all of the other inner work that they had to do in order to reach that point to where they were able to attract these things into their reality. Yes, it is true that the spiritual path is what I just said it was. But you're going to have to do the inner work at the same time to reap those blessings, right? You have to clear out the friendships that are no longer serving you. You're going to even have to cut a lot of your family members off a lot of the time. You're going to have to leave that job. You're going to have to get rid of those childhood core wounds and issues that were holding you back from reaching your full potential. And yes, it's going to feel tedious and it's going to feel boring, and you're not going to want to do that inner work because, the universe knows I did not want to do it. I was avoiding it at all costs. I was just feeling comfortable in that sense of anger and resentment and, blaming the world for how I felt. But my spirit guides and my soul team were telling me like, dude, you can't be living your whole life this way. You can't be feeling resentful all the time. Like, yes, you have the right to feel the way you feel, but you ultimately have to take some initiative and do the inner work so that we can give you your blessings. But you have to follow our guidance and you have to do inner work. And also on, now I'm going to speak on the success part of the journey, like where you fulfill your dreams, right? So there's a process to that, because like the bigger the goal, the longer it's going to take to manifest. And yes, you can do all sorts of stuff to speed up the manifestation process, but overall it's still a process nonetheless. That's why it's called a manifestation process. And so, part of your manifestation process is emptying your cup, so to speak, aka letting go of all of these fears and relationships and these core issues that no longer serve you, so that you can lighten your vibrational load, so that you can be able to manifest much quicker than you ever could before. Because before, you was having all of these resistances and roadblocks towards manifesting whatever goals you set for yourself. But now that you've been doing the inner work for some time, your vibration just keeps getting higher and higher and higher gradually. And the higher your vibration is, the quicker you start to manifest stuff into your reality. But the key words are do the inner work. Do your part by doing the inner work and by doing the manifestation practices, such as writing down exactly what it is you want, and also, meditating upon it night in and night out. And then letting go and just trusting that it will show up to you. Only thing you gotta do is just get yourself in vibrational harmony with it. And by giving it energy, by meditating upon it and thinking of it and thinking of it and thinking of it, right? Speaking of manifestation, this equipment that I'm using right now to film this YouTube video, I set that intention back in late 2016 to get my first camera. See, the camera that I wrote down was I wanted the Nikon D3300. And then it wasn't until 2018 to where, I started getting my equipment. But the camera that I own is actually a Nikon D3400. So, I say all this to say, I set the intention back in 2016 to manifest my own camera because, I'm passionate about filmmaking and videography in general. Henceforth, the reason why I started this YouTube channel, because I've combined both of my passions for speaking about spiritual and higher knowledge mixed with videography. And so I was able to marry the two together, as well as my other passions for acting and just for the arts in general, and for also wanting to help other people by spreading the information that I've accumulated along my journey that has helped me raise my vibration up. And, hopefully I can assist you guys in raising your vibration up as well. And speaking of the gear, I do have the link to those in the description right below. And I just remembered, when I did get that college refund back at Lamar University, I was happy as fuck. See, I was yo, I can get my own equipment now. So I pretty much got me a tripod, a camera, a boom mic, a sound recorder, all that shit, because, I wanted to get the ball rolling and having my own equipment and being able to film when I want to, wherever I want to, whenever I want to. Right? And that's what having this equipment has allowed me to do, is to be able to go do exactly that, and even to go shoot some photos here and there, whenever the fuck I want to. You know what I'm saying? So, that was just one part of the manifestation process. And, I manifested, meeting my feminine. I haven't met my feminine in the physical just yet, but I have a feeling that that's going to happen very soon. I actually met her on Facebook, but, I remember back in 2014, when I first started learning about spirituality and universal laws and whatnot. I remember I bought this Law of Attraction book, and I was just doing the exercise in it, writing down the ideal partner that you want, and I was just describing the traits. And I've been doing that ever since. So yeah, I started writing down all the qualities that I wanted in my dream partner. And then flash forward to April of 2018, that's when, I met my feminine on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, at the time, I thought that it was too good to be true, because I'm just bruh, I just was I'm fresh out of a relationship. I'm not even worried about that right now. You know, my priority is not a romantic relationship. I'm focused on, you know, my career and making my dreams a reality. Because at that point, I was burnt out on relationships, so I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, you know, it was a shell shock to me. You know, I wasn't ready for that shit. But, you know, my spirit guides and my soul team, my higher self let me know, like, it is time, bro. It is time for you to get closer and closer to her. Even if you feel scared as shit right now. And believe me, I tried every excuse in the book to get away from that. But, you know, I even tried to break up with her one time. But that shit didn't even work. So I'm just like, yo, like, no matter how many times I tried to get her out of my head and get her out of my life, it just didn't work. She kept persisting. And that's how I knew it was real. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just love the process, guys. You know, if you're going through a dark night of the soul right now, or a spiritual awakening of some sort, or you got a dream that you want to get off the ground, just remember that the magic happens within the process, not in the manifestation itself. So just keep working on yourself, keep doing the manifestation practices, keep on surrounding yourself with as many positive people as you possibly can. Keep raising your vibration up on a consistent basis daily. And do what you can to focus on the positives of life instead of the negatives of life. Alright? Peace in and out with the highest vibes, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, and before I forget, also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell right next to it so that you get notified every time that I go live. Make sure to smash the hell out of that like button and comment down below, you know, if you're going through a massive spiritual awakening right now, and, you know, if you're working on a dream that you want to get up off the ground. And also make sure to share this on all your social media platforms, and make sure to share this with anybody that you think will benefit from this video. And just so you know, like, because, you know, I've stuck with filmmaking and acting for so long, was because I trusted the process. Which reminds me, I'm gonna have to make a part 2 of this type of video, just to go in depth on how I'm trusting the process. All right? Peace out with the highest vibes, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hello guys, I am the owner of 8 Mil Productions, a video production company that makes music videos, narrative films, music videos, and also edits videos for anyone who doesn't have the time to edit them. You can contact me via my social media and my email. My email is 8milproductions@gmail.com. My Facebook is Evan Youngblood Williams, and my Instagram is @Spiritual Intellect. My rates vary, and I am looking forward to working with you. Have an amazing day.